Welcome back to For the Souls podcast. Today I am joined by Bay Area rapper Big Roo.
Hey, what up?
Welcome to the podcast. How you
Thank
doing?
you. Doing good. Thank you very much for inviting me out here.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
We have been kind of networking with all the same people. So
Mm-hmm.
we've met prior to this.
Correct.
And this has been the setup
Mm-hmm.
for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously mandatory. I was going to have you on at some point with
Appreciate it.
all our connections and
Yeah.
everyone we know and all the times that I see you. It was necessary.
Yeah.
So we're going to start from the beginning.
Okay.
As I do.
Mm-hmm.
How was your childhood like? How did you grow up?
I had a pretty to me it's standard. Well, I won't say standard. To me it was normal. Mom and dad, brothers. I have two younger siblings, a younger brother, younger sister. I'm the oldest. Um, Brought up in the Bay Area, like you said. My father was in jail for quite some time, in and out. So to me it was normal.
Yeah. From what
Um,
ages?
since I was a baby. It's funny you brought that up, not to go off topic, but my first memory as a human being is our house being raided when I was under 5. Like I still remember to this day looking up at the police, like I was by his leg looking up and he looked down at me. I still remember that. That's like my first memory as a human being being alive.
Did that traumatize you?
I don't think it did. My mom, so they raided the house looking for my uncle at the time. This was in the 80s. He wasn't there, but my dad was. So my dad got in some trouble there. And then he, like I said, he was just in and out. But maybe it did. Maybe it did. Maybe there's some, because like I said, it's the one memory that I forever hold on to. So it's probably
Yeah.
some kind of deep-seated issue in there. So can't even lie.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, I got so used to visiting the jails with my dad, going to see my dad, or going to see homies that got locked up. Um, I kind of to me, it was like a normal childhood. It's probably sad to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's becomes our normal when that's all we know,
Yeah.
right? Um, what were your parents like in terms of like their parenting towards you? Were they affectionate parents? Do you feel like
I
those
think
needs were met?
I think they were. I mean, my mom apologized to me, and I love her to death. She apologized to me for hitting me and et cetera, et cetera. And my dad, same thing. He would apologize to this day. Um, and I don't hold nothing against them. They were young too. You know what I mean? So they were learning. So and I was the first. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like I don't hold grudges on that.
Yeah, we're pretty much. I'm gonna know this as
Oh,
well.
okay, okay.
So we grow
Yes.
with our parents. I
Hmm.
saw a post on Instagram that said something like, "How did it go? The eldest children grow with you. The youngest child gets the best version of you."
Yeah,
And
that's
I was like, "Damn, this is so
true.
true."
That's
Especially
true.
when you become a young parent,
Hmm.
like you're just your firstborn is thugging it out with you.
Well,
um,
they did, and they did their best. My mom did her best, so I always loved them for that.
yeah. Are you Mexican?
Mexican and Portuguese.
Mexican and Portuguese.
Hmm.
Portuguese on what side? Your mom or
My
dad's?
mom's.
Oh, your
Yeah,
mom's. So did you have both cultures in the household?
not so more Mexican than Portuguese. I mean, she's always been proud. She still to this day wants to visit Portugal, but
Yeah.
mainly more Mexican culture. A lot more of my dad's side would be around cousins and everybody, tias and tios and
Yeah.
all that. So
Do they speak Portuguese?
my mother's side, not that I'm aware of. There might be someone deep down the line that does,
Yeah.
but not that I'm aware of. Mainly everybody just speaks, standards Mexican Spanish. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
so, or Spanglish. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I like
So,
how they say, "Oh my God."
oh,
They
see,
say
I don't.
"Meu Dios, meu Dios." I know because my grandma spoke Portuguese,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, so that was she would speak it, and then my sister tried to learn some too, and she would always be speaking in
That's
Portuguese.
cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
really beautiful culture.
Yeah, no, I would love, like I said, I would love to just even go visit there. I mean,
Yeah.
but other than that, I feel my childhood wasn't too bad.
Oh,
So I
okay.
mean, we all do dumb things.
Yeah, I know you mentioned your dad being in and out of prison. How much time overall did he do throughout the course of your life?
Oh, man. Sorry, didn't mean to cuss.
No. Oh, you're
Um,
fine. You could
uh,
cuss.
man, I know a lot of time when I was little. I wish I could give. I should ask how many years, but I'd say a good amount. I remember he was just in and out, coming in and out through my when I was under 10, through when I was a teenager, um, and then I would say somewhat in my 20s. He might have been in and out a couple little things here and there.
Yeah.
Um, so man,
For how
I
long
wish I
had
could
a?
give you a date. I really would. Sorry
Oh,
about
it's
that.
okay. How long? Like, what was the longest time frame?
Oh, years, years. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. He had, he was doing things in the street, and he had certain things at the house and got caught with certain things, and he just got locked up, and he's with a lot of guys he knew, so it kind of he just it perpetuated and just kept happening. You know what I mean? So
How much of your dad having that kind of inconsistency, should I say,
hmm
in terms of his presence and like fathering,
hmm
would you say impacted the road you took?
I mean, I think it does impact. I mean, I didn't have no one there to show me how to shave, right? How to do little things as I'm growing up as a kid, like as a teenager. Like I had to learn how to do that. You know what I mean? Like how to excuse me, how to do just all kinds of little things, how to just take care of myself as a man, how to how to learn what to do as a man, what not to do, how to act and how to carry myself. I had to learn on my own
Oh,
a lot of the
wow.
times, you know what I mean? So it's just him not being there. I think it of course I think it affected me.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as man, it's I don't know how I could word it, but it did affect me. I just I try not to. I didn't really think about it at the time. I guess you would say. Like I didn't like. I was like, oh, he's not here. How do I do this? I would just like figure. I just had to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
It was survival
it
pretty
was yeah,
much.
basically. You know what I mean? I had to just do it on my own. Like, hey, no one's here. No one's gonna baby me and help me through it. My mom can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as a woman, she's trying her best, but you still need a man to also partially raise a man. So.
Yeah, that's a big I feel like that's a big repetitive thing that I see is
Mhm.
that women, there's actually a statistic before the freaking women come for my fucking throat, okay? There is statistic that shows that men are
Mhm.
capable of raising obviously their sons to be
Mhm.
men and women to be women.
Mm.
But women actually are incapable of raising boys to be
Oh
men, but we're
wow.
capable of raising women to
Mm.
be women.
Wow.
And so, statistically speaking, children are better off with single dads than they are single mothers.
Wow.
The
That's a trip.
crime rate for children with single mothers is like skyrocketed. Or like, a situation like yours where your
Mhm.
dad was in now. They're still together?
No, no, no. They
Oh,
divorced a
okay.
while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, isn't that a trip?
Mhm.
The presence of a father and
Yeah,
how
that is a
how
trip.
much that matters.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I would
y'all
have
whip us in the line.
right? I would have never guessed that was actual like a legitimate
Yeah,
thing. That's
a lot
crazy.
of women get mad about that too.
Yeah.
Like, I think it probably is an ego thing,
Mhm.
but it's true. You
Yeah.
you can't raise a man,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And I get it. I get it. It's just it's a trip, man. That's
Yeah.
but again, ladies try and my mom tried and she did her best and I'll love
Yeah.
her forever for
And
it.
you turned out well.
I try. I hope I did. I hope I did. Fingers crossed.
How were you in your adolescence?
I mean, doing dumb things, like hanging around homies and, running around in the street. Just doing stupid things, getting kicked out of school. But I ended up graduating. So and I was very happy.
Good for you.
Only thing I regret is I had the opportunity to be in college and I just screwed it off that first year. I was like, oh, I'm just go out and do what I want to do because it was on me to make the my presence felt there, and I just
Mhm.
never did. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with the homies.
Yeah.
And I just that's the one thing I regret. And I was like, man, I wish I would have stayed with that.
How old were you when you got into like hanging out with the homies?
Oh, I was like 13, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Like I was young. I was like in this between sixth and eighth grade, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was young.
What
And
would you have studied if you went to college?
so I at the time when I was younger, when I had graduated high school, I had was into photography. So I wish I would have
Oh,
stuck with that because it would have
really?
fed so well into what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? It would have fed
Yes.
so well into it.
Yes.
But
You
it's
could
okay.
still learn.
That's true.
You might not have the degree,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and
Hmm.
we live in an age where access to information is in
Very true.
abundance. So,
Yeah.
and if it's a hobby that you love to do and your passion,
Mm.
I fully encourage that you should
Yeah. No, I
try.
appreciate it. I think right now my hobby's kind of taken up with rapping right now,
Yeah.
and trying to be around everybody as much as I can. So right now,
Yeah.
but that was what I was studying when I was younger, and who knows, maybe one day I can get back into it because I would love to. I
Yeah.
love taking photos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I bet you'd be good at it too.
I hope so. I'm pretty decent with just a camera, so
Yeah.
with the
Well,
phone. So
I believe in you.
thank you.
Speaking of the rapping,
Hmm.
how old were you when this came about?
Okay, so we started. I used to. So I'm from Union City. A lot of my friends, we grew up together, like all through elementary, middle school, high school. We used to hang around at our friend Alex's garage. We used to call it the dojo. And so you'd go in there and everybody, they would always freestyle and have cypher sessions and battle each other, just practice with each other, right?
Yeah.
And so like, come and try it. And so I would try it and I was garbage, 100% garbage. People probably still think that today. But I learned and learned, and over time, I got pretty decent at it to where some of the homies, when I would go to their houses, and they're like, "Hey, Rue, come and over here, hey, freestyle for us," and I
Yeah.
would do it. And that's where I started, you know, catching people's ears and whatnot. And then one day, out the blue, I had met Bugsy from Dakota and Speedy from Dakota, rest in peace, in San Leandro at a Rasputin's Music. So hey, he's like, hey, I was looking through Darkroom Family CDs, and Bugsy came up to me and said, hey, you like Darkroom Family? I was like, oh shit, I know. I was like, I know who you are. I was like, seen him on the little VHSs and everything. He's like, yeah, my brother Speedy's over here. So I went and chopped it up, and ever since then, we had got cool, and I started learning, like going to their place and learning little things, seeing what they're doing, how they're getting down with their little studio in their house, and I'm like, okay, cool. So a few years as I got older, I'm like 14, 15, 16, get into my 18, 19, around there, I started rapping and making actual music, probably like in my late teens, early 20s, to where I had um, I put an album out. I put a couple songs out on MySpace. This is when MySpace was the one thing around.
Yes.
So I had my big room music page, and I ended up putting an album together with Little Coner, who showed me a lot, showed me how to hustle, showed me
Yeah.
a lot about the game. So I was in my early 20s. I had put my album out. It was probably like 2008ish, between 2010, making flyers, posters, whatnot, just going out to all these different cities, Petaluma, Chico, Roseville, Sacramento, everywhere, all in Cali, just trying to like learn the game, all in the valley, just seeing how Coner did it, how they all got down and what they did, what not to do, and so I just learned from them, and I got into it once I released my first album, and it was cool. It was just, man, everything was just moving so fast for
Yeah.
me. It was here's the thing though, it was great. It's like, oh yeah, there's parties, there's girls everywhere. It's, we're all having a great time. Every weekend was something different. And it was cool. But it got to a point where eventually where I started fading out of it after I dropped that first album. It was like, okay, every weekend is a party.
Yeah.
Every weekend is different girls. It's like, okay, but are we doing music still, or it just got to the point where I wasn't even doing music. It was just, hey, let's just go party. We're gonna kick and get drunk, and we're gonna do whatever, and oh, we invite these females over here, yada yada yada. And I was just like, it plays itself out.
Yeah.
Guys would be like, oh, that sounds great. I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But after so long, it's like, okay, but I got into it to do music.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing that no more. So it
Yeah.
kind of just fizzled out, and I just got like lightweight, like depressed. I was like, man, I'm not even doing it no more. I just felt like it wasn't worth my time anymore. I was like, I don't want to be around dope. I'm like, dudes doing crystal lines and all that. I was like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I would see all the time. Like, hey, you want to get? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's cool. You can have that. And hey, love those homies to this day, but it was nothing. I just never been a big guy into that stuff. So it kind of made me get out of music.
Yeah.
So, not to run on, I got out of music till about 2023, a few years ago. I was going through an issue with my lady. Love you. And I needed to get my emotions out. I was like, if I keep holding this in, it's gonna mess with my head more. And so I made a song. I was like, oh, okay, did pretty good. I like made one more song for her, two songs for her. They did pretty well. And then the homies were like, hey, you need to do a homie song now. So I did one, and it got good traction. And so they're like, man, just do an album. And I did. I did my first album back, Northern Love, which did pretty good. And then I did Northern Love 2, Northern Love 4. And then I got an album coming out this week with Keek Dog called The North Album. And then another album next month called East Bay's Finest. So, yeah, had a big gap, about 12, 13 years,
Yeah.
but it came together.
No, I relate to that because I feel like same with me.
Yeah.
Like I was doing social media for a while, and then again, the priorities got to get back in order. And I think that's a part of being a creative that a lot of people wouldn't know unless they're doing it, is you have these spouts of kind of stagnancy, creativity, like creative wise.
Yep.
And it's one of the more difficult aspects of trying to be consistent in a craft. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But also I feel like those breaks are so necessary for you to gather yourself to actually come back and make like the best,
Yep.
quality of whatever, avenue you're
Yeah,
in.
I agree. And I have to say, with that first album back in 2023, or second album in 2023, I had so much on my mind from that time, from when I stopped to then. I feel like that was my best album, my first one that came out. I'm gonna always say my album's the best
Yeah.
one, but I really felt that first Northern Love had some serious stuff, had stuff for homies, had stuff for women. I felt like it had the best of me because I had so much unsaid and like that I
Yeah.
could finally just get out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I really do feel that way.
And I think it's kind of cool to highlight that you were able to recognize that you needed to release these
Hmm.
emotions and you found your way to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I had to. I was just, I was just crying every day, dealing with stuff with my lady, who I love.
Yeah.
But every couple goes through ups and downs and peaks and valleys, right?
Yeah.
It was just a moment in time. Um, but because of we went through that together and came out stronger, I was able to, like I said, let my emotions out and let my mind flow into paper and pen, and I really feel that it helped me out. It really did, because
Hmm.
otherwise I was just stirring. I know I'd
Yeah.
work out, I'd go run, but everything just was on my mind. It wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't helping me release it like I thought.
Yeah. So getting back into the music, I know that you said that the environment prior,
Hmm.
before you took a break,
Yes.
was getting to a point that kind of exhausted you because it was played out, right?
Yes.
Doing the same
Agree.
thing constantly.
Yes.
I have noticed that it can get really easy to get sucked back
Hmm.
into that cycle.
Hmm.
Especially I feel like when you're an artist, because a musical
Yeah.
artist, because I want to say there's like a clout, like a hype
Hmm.
to be around certain
Hmm.
faces and to just be in that
Yeah.
mix, and everybody wants to be a part of
Yep.
it and they want to be connected in some way. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on you guys to have to, Big Roo has to come out,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and show out a little bit because it's part of the entertainment
Right.
aspect of it. Going into it this second time around, what things did you do differently or mentally prepare yourself so that you don't run into that same exhaustion that you did before?
Right. I think this time, now that I'm older, I've grown a lot. I mean, just mentally, I've just grown so much more from when I was in my, you know, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, whatever that was. I've grown so much and been through, so much that I know now, like, I don't need to be over there and drinking with these fools, all day, all night. Oh, we're gonna go studio, we're gonna get drunk. Like, oh, when you guys want to do music, let me know. I'll be over there, or I'll send
Yeah.
you something. But I know I'm around so many guys now who are I feel like are in the same headspace where they're like, no, we're here, we want to, we're trying to do, we're all about unity. We're trying to bring together everybody. We're trying to uplift everybody. We're trying to school youngsters into, hey, you don't need to be doing X, Y, and Z. You can come over here. You can go on a trade. You can have just a regular 9 to 5. You can be a student. You can do yada yada yada. You don't have to be in the streets doing these things. And I feel like before, when I was younger, I was like, no, man, we're out here. Hey, we're chasing people down. We're
Yeah.
doing this and that. Oh, you see somebody, funk on sight, type of thing. But now I'm just like, man, hey, I'm older, and again, the guys I'm with, and shout out to Mad Dog and Bo and Cinco and all the homies out here, Boxer, who really are doing so much for their community in Sacramento. I love seeing it, because it wasn't like that back in the day for us in the East Bay. Homies were looking out for themselves a lot. Not to say that homies weren't helping each other out, because they were, but there was a lot of people just, hey, I'm in it for me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I seen that, and it kind of like took me back to when I came back now. I try to help as many people as I can. If I'm out there, I'm recording somebody, like, hey, I want to give you content. I'm gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna film them. I'm gonna take photos for them. Like, hey, I'll send you these. These are for you. You put them up. You do whatever you want. Or someone little homie wants to get on a song. Hey, let's do a song. Hey, if everything's right and you're good and you're serious about it, come get at me and we'll do something together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think now I know what not to do. And I just know that if I see those things, and you know what, surprisingly, knock on wood, everybody that I've been around from Sacramento to the Bay to the Valley, I don't see that. Not that it doesn't exist. I haven't seen the rampant drug use. I haven't seen. Oh, I've seen people get drunk. Don't get me wrong. Drunk, yes. Don't get me wrong. People get drunk, and you know who you are. But I
But
haven't.
not lines of crystal
No, not lines of
crazy.
crystal or smoke it in the car. And I'm just like, man, I'm never bringing these fools in my car again. You know what I mean? This is things that happened back in the day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
never bringing such and such in the car. Cause I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, cause I've never been into, I've never been a big drug guy. I don't even smoke, to be honest. I don't even smoke weed. If I was to smoke weed right now, I'd go to sleep on this couch.
Really?
I would go to
I
sleep.
would start hearing my heartbeat fast. And I'd be like, do y'all hear my
Right,
heartbeat?
right. Dude, I'll probably start laughing and then I'll pass out. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like,
So I wish that
right.
happened to me. I
Dude,
get paranoid.
that's why I'm like, I tell the homies, I'm like, if they had a 420 event, and I wish I would have went there for the BBG thing this past weekend. I was like, I can't go. I was like, if I would have went, I know I probably just been like, I got to go lay down in the car, because I
Yeah.
know there would have been so much in the air that I would like, I'm
Yes.
just getting contact highs.
Yes.
So, but I just feel like, like I said, everybody's so level headed now. in my eyes that I'm around and so respectable, that I really just know I wouldn't see it and they wouldn't push me. They wouldn't push me.
Yeah.
Hey, Rue, like back in the days when I was younger, oh yeah, hey, Rue, come here, do something with us. These guys, the guys now, they're not like that. They're real level-headed. They're smart. They know better. They've been through things, so they know what not to do. And,
Yeah.
so I appreciate them to the fullest, and I respect all of them so
Yeah.
much.
I definitely agree with you. There is a prevalence of mentorship
Mm-hmm.
that, obviously I wasn't back in the day
Yeah.
with everybody, but I feel like I feel a shift with people just wanting to be more positive, really understanding the responsibility of their leadership and influence, which I don't know what sparked that. I think maybe even just the climate of social media and how much degeneracy is pushed.
Yeah.
It kind of has pushed a lot of the real ones that are like, nah, hold up, we got to stand for
Yep.
something better, to really stand up and be like, no, 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 we gotta wheel this back. This is going a little too far with the degeneracy,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So good for you guys, and I love that you're from the Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
and this is spreading.
Yeah.
You know,
Big time.
the Gata Mas Firme is also having a unity, right?
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna be out there. Actually, I'll be performing at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you gonna
It's,
go?
I don't know yet. I have to talk to my husband
you
and
guys
see if
go.
we're gonna go. Yeah, just to see that too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To see it going to other areas,
Yeah.
geographical locations. I was
Yeah.
about to say hoods, but let's
Yeah, yeah.
let's clean it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Communities, different communities. Yeah.
Let me
Oh, sorry,
No,
sorry.
you're good. I just wanted to put it up a little bit. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love what you guys are doing. So I have to ask a
Mhm.
question
Mhm.
because you and I have talked about this on the IG,
Okay.
and then I was super curious, and I was like, I'm gonna
Yes.
ask him this when he's on the
Shoot.
podcast. You've told me like you don't believe in God, but you totally like respect
Yeah.
my views, and you'll totally repost my videos.
Yeah.
But I want to know, have you not always believed in God? Like ever since you were a kid, were you ever exposed to God?
I was exposed to it. My mom would take me to church. You know what I mean? Like, we were never heavy into church. I was, and I might get this wrong, but I was baptized Catholic, but went to Christian churches. Does that make sense?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then, but I was never into, I personally was never into church. But so it's like I respect people's views on it. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, like I'm literally on For the Souls podcast. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's like
Yeah.
if I was that much of a jerk,
Yeah.
I would like, no, I'm not doing it because it says souls. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not like that. I'm like, I
Are
respect
there,
it.
are there, would you consider yourself an atheist?
I
Agnostic?
would say an atheist.
Atheist?
I don't believe in it. My beliefs are I feel as long as we're good to everybody, I treat you right, you treat me. As long as I'm treating you right, being fair to you, and being as kind as possible to everybody, I feel as long as we're just being good, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Just be a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Not,
co-sign that.
yeah. So
I ask because I'm so curious. Is there atheists that would trip off of like saying the soul, like the
yes.
soul, or like
Yes.
spirit, or
yes.
really?
There's people. There's super hardcore ones. I've seen them.
Really?
I've seen them in person. Oh, you're this? Yeah, well, yeah. F this and that. I'm like, bro, I'm not going around saying that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
that's their beliefs. I'm like, no one's
Yeah.
disrespecting me. I'm not gonna disrespect
Yeah.
them. But they're super hardcore ones.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And like for me, like when I was in high school, I started reading a lot about like communism and socialism, right? And I know everybody says, "Oh, that's woke nowadays." I'm like,
Yeah.
we were reading that stuff when we were younger, and a lot of homies were thinking, reading a lot of, Zapatistas and stuff from
Yeah.
Mexico and Chiapas and a lot of different social groups around the world, Palestine, right?
Yeah.
In Japan, there was just everywhere in South America, all these groups, socialist groups, Marxist groups, and I started reading more and more into the ideology and seeing what do they stand for, and I started like, okay, I like this. I like what he's about. I like what Marx and Engels wrote, and I like what these groups are fighting for their liberation. They're trying to gain self-determination. Even if they have to pick up a gun or a weapon to bring attention to their cause. I was like, I respect the hell out of that because I'm like, it makes me think of like the homies out here is like, we have to stand up for ourselves to bring attention to our plight and what we're doing, and to like bring unity together, right?
Yeah.
And it just reading about that stuff, it made me become like when I was younger, I was like 20 years old, and I became a communist. I was like, and I say I became a communist.
You became a communist?
Yeah, like and I was still young, so I was learning the different like groups and stuff, right? So at the time, I was like, oh, I had joined the Communist Party USA, which was
Shut
yeah, but then
Shut the front door.
Swear.
Is this why?
Oh
Are
yeah,
those the
yeah,
same?
so I
I
have
I thought I
yeah.
spotted some
Yeah, yeah.
communism.
So I have that. I have that, and I have it on my chest too.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
have.
Finish telling me the story because I'm
No, you're good.
fascinated.
You're good. You're good. So I learned like over time. I like reading. I follow a lot of Stalin's reading writings,
Yes.
and there's a lot of very anti-socialism, anti-communism, anti-Stalin things around, especially in the West.
Yes.
Because hey, anything socialist is evil. They want to give everything for free. Uh, don't let them, be in your neighborhood. Yada yada yada. My bad.
Yeah. No, you're good.
And so it was just I learned what groups. I was like, okay, maybe I reading more into like the TPUSA, the Communist Party USA.
Yeah.
I learned, oh, I don't want to. You know what? I'm not going to be part of this group. So now the group that I back and follow, I'm not a member, but I follow is the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and they're based all around California and other
Yeah.
states. And actually voted for them in the last election.
Oh wow.
But
What is their goal?
just a lot of civil fighting. They do a lot of things for civil rights, black rights, Hispanic rights,
Yeah.
a lot of things for trying to help out the underprivileged, the working class,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that socialism stand for, right? Building
Mm-hmm.
communities together, like again, like we're doing up here, trying to do with the homeboys and the people out here, the raza out here. So I like what they stand for. It's something that I've always believed in. You know what I mean? I still to this day will always be. Stalinism is not a real thing. He was a Marxist-Leninist to the fullest. So
You have a political side to
I do,
yourself that
but I
I
try
can
not.
tell you're passionate
I am,
about.
but I don't always talk about it. It's like because
Yeah.
it doesn't always come up, and then a lot of times when it does come up, it's always with a Caucasian who gets very mad. It's
Really?
happened at work when they see my
Well,
tattoos
you
and
know what? I
yeah,
believe that.
yeah.
I would say that so full transparency, I wouldn't say that I actually align with any kind of label. I consider myself more of a centrist. I feel
Hmm.
like socially, I'm a little bit more I don't even like using the terminology used nowadays because I feel like things have become so
Hmm.
radicalized that regardless of being a little bit more like, let's say, progressive socially, in which I do believe, and this is because of my spiritual
Hmm.
beliefs, my religious beliefs, that we do have a responsibility to help marginalized people, and
Yeah.
we do have a responsibility to ensure basic human rights
Hmm.
to groups of people. The way in which we do that, people would probably consider me more right leaning
Yeah.
than anything. But it's wonderful to sit down with someone who can articulate their position so respectfully because much like you, I've had lots of conversations with people of that you believe more of your beliefs and your stance, and they have almost ripped my head off.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's
That's
mostly over
crazy.
social media. Like no one
Yeah.
has ever done it in person. And I feel like when you talk with people in
Hmm.
person, we literally want the same exact things done.
Yeah.
It's just the way in
The way you go
which,
about it.
yes.
Yes.
And that's what people don't
Yeah.
understand. And I feel like the climate of society when it comes to politics
Hmm.
is so fucking inflammatory that they think conversations like this are
Yeah.
impossible to
Yeah.
have.
Which is crazy to me.
It's
Which is,
insane.
it's funny you even said that because years ago, before all this craziness that's happened recently, right in the last 8 whatever years, before I had my wifey right now,
Yeah.
I had went on a date with somebody, and when she says, "Oh, you're a what?" I was like, "I'm a communist." Ended it right there. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't, I don't fuck with Marxists. I'm like, got up and left. She got up and left. I'm like, oh, all right. So I literally finished my meal, and I was like, all right, whatever. Chalk it up
Yeah.
as a loss. But I was like, that's crazy. Like, you should have told me. I'm like, it never came up. Like,
Yeah.
this was just something in conversation we were just having.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I suppose, and I don't know how you feel about this. Is your wifey now? Does she politically align with your views?
Not completely, but she believes a lot of the things I believe in. But I always told her too, you don't have to follow what I do. Be
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And she's strong. She has a lot of her own leanings towards, she does go, I want to say, a lot more towards the left, but she does have some right leanings. You know what I mean? She does
Yeah.
have certain things that, she feels about certain this or
Yeah.
that,
So, yeah.
which is fine. It's
Which
like,
is
hey,
healthy in my
yeah.
opinion.
I'm like, we don't have to agree on every little thing,
Yeah.
because then it's just gonna get boring. Oh, you want to hang out? You want to go do this and that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, well, what? There's got to be something else you want to do. Like,
Yeah.
let me know. Push back a little bit.
Yeah. Do you have children?
I don't. She has two. She has a
Okay.
daughter and a son. which is
Yeah.
like my stepchildren.
Yeah.
So,
So
or like my children.
the only reason why I bring that up is just because I do personally feel that when you are trying to find a potential suitor, I think being able to align with certain core values matters,
Yeah.
because if the goal is marriage, children,
Right.
whatever, right? It's gonna be hard
Yeah.
once them kids start growing and you guys got way two different
You know,
approaches and ideologies.
it's funny you said that too, because I've always been, since I was younger, I don't want to have kids. I was like, I don't, because I was like, and I was very selfish. I was always admitting, I'm selfish. I like spending my time on with me. I like spending my money on me. I like doing what I want to do at the drop of a dime. If I want to go out today and I want to go get wasted at the bar and drink a gang of Guinness, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah.
Now that I've got older, there's times when I think about it with her and I'm like, man, maybe I should have had a, because we've been together about 10 years now. I
Yeah.
was like, man, and there's times in my head I'm like, I was like, man, I'm getting older. I was like, maybe I should have had a kid, X amount of years ago, and I could have been watching them grow.
Yeah.
But then there's times where I'm like, no, I still feel like I wouldn't be the right dad that I would hope I'd want to be. Like I always felt like I wouldn't be the dad that could provide the most for them. Like I was like, even though I have a decent job and I take care of myself, I always want to be someone that could like, oh, I can get them whatever they wanted at any time. And
You're talking about fiscally?
fiscally, yeah, yeah. That was always one big thing for me. I was like, no, I
Yeah.
don't have the money's not right now. I can't afford to buy a house. Blah blah blah. I was like, that was my thing. I was like, I don't want to bring a kid up like that. Like I
Yeah.
always want to have what they need right there. Like, no, they need this. I got it.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you a little secret to parenting just because I have 4?
Yes.
Your presence, who you are, the essence of who you are, will always be more than enough for your child.
I don't doubt
So I'm a big believer in families.
that. Yeah.
Have a baby. Not me putting the pressure, but I'm putting the pressure. No,
worry.
because
You're good.
there's never a perfect time, and
Yeah.
you're never going to be the perfect person or version of yourself.
Yeah.
And truthfully, to be frank, having children shows you a side of yourself that you did not even know.
Yeah.
Like having children has brought to the forefront so many things. Remember we talked about like, did these things impact us
Yeah.
growing up? How did they affect me? How did they shape my personality, even my view of the world, whatever, right? Having children has such a way of lifting the veil of all these blinders that you didn't even realize were present. It's just like, it's the trippiest shit.
Yeah.
You begin to learn yourself on the deepest level, and people really believe like we're raising our kids, right? It's actually really them raising us. I swear, babe,
Yeah.
is it not? It really is like that,
Yeah.
dude.
That's a trip, man.
And I mean, you kind of like halfway, I don't even want to say halfway, fully have that responsibility because your lady has kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's your dad.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I
And you're
agree.
getting a taste.
Yeah. I definitely got a taste. What was I gonna say to you? It's a trip though, yeah, because like I said, I've always been like, oh, I don't want to have kids and blah blah blah, and then there was moments when I was where like I said, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I had a little one, but then I look back, I'm like, my sister has 3, my
Yeah.
brother doesn't have any, I don't have any, my sister has my oldest niece, her middle child, which is my nephew Elijah,
Yeah.
the oldest is Juliana, Elijah, and then Aaliyah's the youngest. She just turned 6. So at one point, they were all my best friends when they were little. So when Jana was little, she was my best friend. When Elijah was smaller, now he just plays Roblox all day. He was my best friend. Right now, Aaliyah's my little best friend. So I'm soaking it up because I'm like, once they get to that age, I'm like, I'm going to lose them. So I'm like, I soak it up like those are my little babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I love them to death. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So-
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
The tío to sobrino and sobrina's relationship.
Yeah.
That's precious.
Yeah, I love those kids.
That's great. I would love to pick your brain more. I probably will over social media. If
sure,
you could
sure.
recommend me some books. I'm
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
fascinated and always learning different perspectives.
Yeah,
So I won't put you on the spot with books right now, but if you have any
There's a
that
couple
you
I
can
could
think
say.
of,
Yeah.
just send them to me on
Oh,
IG,
I'll send
and
it to
I
you.
want to
There's a
read
couple I
them.
could name you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
sure.
kind of geek out over politics too.
Yeah. I
It's a
definitely.
thing. And that's wonderful that you enjoy that. Back to the music.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get back to there. Who would you like to work with?
Ooh, that's a great question. So there's a couple guys off the top of my head. Rico,
Yeah.
Too Smooth. Seventh Letter, Sav. A couple guys from Sacramento, him.
Yeah.
From the East Bay, there's Young Ace Boog. I would love to work with him. We've talked. We hopefully we can line something up. From the South Bay, I would say the homie Lazy Boy. He's great. He's I've been to a couple of his video shoots. He's a really cool, good dude. Him and Fang really good, solid people.
Yeah.
And I think that's most for the most part, I've got to work with a lot of the guys that I respect and I've always wanted to work with. Like I find when I started getting back into music, I got to do something with Mad Dog, Summer Days with him and Bo Biz, and that was getting to do something with Mad Dog, who I used to play his CD Northern Warriors when I was a teen, like late teens. I used to slap that when I'd be out with Connor in my early 20s, or whatever, and I would always play his stuff. And then finally getting to meet him and become like family, and
Yeah.
like to him, his wife, and his whole crew, Nico, Serge, all them. I'm Labucci. I love those. I love them like they're my own. That was one of my happiest things to get with
Yeah.
Mad Dog and them.
They're a wonderful family.
Love them. Love those
Wonderful
guys.
family. They really have that embrace.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how life comes full
It
circle?
was. I was super crazy because I was like, I remember to this day getting his CD, and I was in Petaluma with Connor, and little homies were coming up to me like, hey, you got Northern Warriors? They were trying to buy the CD off me. The CD that I've been bumping in the car the whole time. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, man, that's mine. Ain't no one buying that. I was like, nah, I'm like, you ain't taking that one from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a trip. Like I've got to work with a lot of great people, a lot of good people, and I'm very happy and proud of that. And there's more coming.
Good for you.
So
It'll come into fruition.
Yeah.
I'm certain of it.
Thank you.
What artists have inspired you musically?
First and foremost, always gonna say it. Speedy Loke, rest in peace. I miss you. Being around him when I was younger and seeing how he did things and the love that he got really inspired me. And his brother Bugsy too. Can't forget them. Their mom was always sweet to me, a sweetheart. I loved them all to death. Um, Other artists that inspired me, I would say, were a lot of things I grew up on were like G Funk from like Southern California, like a lot of black artists like Warren G, the Dog Pound, people like that who were doing like a lot of smooth melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I always liked that. So I always said I try to I say N Funk, Northern Funk. So I
Yeah.
try to I have an album coming out with the homie Pops from Modesto called N Funk, and we're trying to keep that line going, just like all smooth melodic type of things. So
I like that.
so that's kind of what I liked and what I grew up on and the people that I inspired me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear that.
Thank you.
I resonate with that era of music as
Yeah.
well. It's just smooth.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I
like
just love
play
it.
it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there was a ton of Bay Area artists that were doing the same thing. Big Mac, um, shoot, I can't even name all. Oh, Totally Insane and everybody else. But I just when I think of that, I always think of like Dog Pound and that
Yeah.
like that era. Just I
Yeah.
always think of that era. So
Yeah. How do you see this year going for you, or like how far do you want to take your music? Do you have a goal?
goal, man. Well, I'm trying to honestly, I want to be as consistent as I can because I can't do this forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be the dude that's 57 rapping about being on the block and doing dumb things. I want to be able to like how Big Tone's doing now. He's a businessman. He's got his ventures elsewhere.
Yeah.
He'll do music once in a while, right?
Yeah.
But I want to do as much as I can the next few years. I got an album, so I got the North album coming out this week with Keek on Friday. Next month, my East Space Find is coming out, my solo. Another one coming out with Pops called the N Funk album. I got one with BT from Sacramento. Love that homie to death. We're gonna do it's untitled, but hopefully we'll be recording it this weekend here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get. I want if I can get 6 albums out this year, I'll be very happy. I want
You're
if I can get
putting in
one.
work.
I'm trying to. I'm doing a lot in the studio. So, like I said, I already got 3 of them, 2 of them down. If I can get these next 4 done before the
Yeah.
end of the year, I'll be really happy.
Yeah. What is the hardest part about entrepreneurship for you?
Money.
The money.
It's always gonna be the money.
Yeah.
I'm like it's cost.
So break it down for people so that people understand how much investment actually goes into producing and all this.
Okay, so I'm only gonna speak for me.
Yeah.
So I like paying for quality.
Yes.
So I pay for studio time. I don't have a free studio. I just recently got all my own equipment, laptop, microphone, speakers, blah blah blah. So now I'm hopefully gonna start using my own stuff. So that cuts that cost back. But before that, I would pay for studio time, $60 an hour, right? 60 an hour. That's for 1 hour. I'm doing 4-hour blocks, right? So let's say that's about 2 something for 4 hours. Then I'm buying beats from people like Cam on the Jam, Bear on the Beat, The Chemist. Those things anywhere from 50, usually 100 to like 200 range. Sometimes 300 depending on what I get. So let's say 5 beats for $200, just 5 beats, half an album, that's $1,000. So then if I do graphics, I want to do a single, and I want to go through my boy Chris Anthony in the Valley. Let's say he charges me $50 for a graphic. I get 2 graphics done for 2 singles. That's 100, right? Then I want to get a CD made. I want to get a CD layout. The CD to get pressed is going to cost me about $450 to $500 to get 200 pressed. The CD layout's going to cost me anywhere from $100 to $200. And then if let's say I want to do a video or two, or two. My first video ever cost $800. I said I can never do that again. That was too damn much for me. And I love that guy to death who did it. I won't say names, but he knows who he is, and I love him to death. But I just couldn't afford that after that. So he broke it down into deals with me, like, oh, you do so many, we'll lessen the amount.
Yeah.
So now I'm paying about $300 to $400 a video. Mind you, I'm by myself, so I don't have a team with me. It's
Yeah.
all on me.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm already in the thousands, right? And let's say, so again, five songs, $200 a piece is 1,000. I do 10 track albums. So every album that I put out has 10 tracks. So that's $2,000 just on beats. Every album. So as long as, if I'm paying $200, it's $2,000 just on beats. Add those, let's say I do 2 videos per album, that's $2,800. Then you add in a couple hundred for studio time for at least 2 4-hour sessions. So let's say that's about let's say $400 to $500, right? So now I'm midway, 3,500, let's say. Then graphics, CD pressing, CD layout. I'm almost at I'm over $4,000. Usually every album costs about $5,000.
Oh
So
my
sorry
gosh.
that breakdown was kind of sloppy, but
No,
it's about
that was a
$5,000 for me.
That is a wonderful breakdown. And this, I feel like, is why networking is so important.
Yes.
Like, you have to be able to meet people and,
Make connections.
you know, make connections and, you know, not price gauge. What's the word I'm looking for?
But not
Shop around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and mind you, the homies, like I said, Chris Anthony, he's incredible. He does great work. He does stuff for Baby Bash. I got him lined up with Mad Dog and all them, so he does all their well, I don't want to say all, but he does a lot of their graphics now. He's a great dude. He's a great homie. I've known him since he was a teenager. I love you, Chris.
Yeah.
The guys that do beats, Bear from Santa Rosa, all those guys, great dudes. Cam from San Mateo, all great guys, and they do. I build relationships with them, so now they're like, hey, Rue, instead of paying 300, I'll charge you 100. Or hey, you know what? I'll give you one for free because you've been such a good business, right?
Yeah.
So which is great, and I appreciate every time that I've got a deal or I've got studio time. Thank you, Cinco and ET, for the help at NOR Studio. I never forget that. Anybody who's helped me out and given me things and supported me, I always will do my best to give back or show appreciation, whether it's financially or just through, situations that I can help, I will.
Yeah.
That's why I don't mind coming out here to Sacramento or going to the Valley, because there's been so many times when I was younger where people didn't do that for me. I was like, man, it sucked because, you'd go to a video and no one would show up, or you go to an event and no one would show up. So I always try to make it my thing to where, no, hey, I'll be there. Even if I'm the one guy holding the camera, I'll be there to try to support you guys, whether it's out in Sacramento, the Valley, the Bay, wherever. I try to do my best. But like I said, it's expensive because it's gas too. I'm not even talking. So like,
And food.
Yeah, and food. All those little things. It costs money, but it's hard as an entrepreneur to do those things. But I still love it, and I'm happy to do it because if I can support someone, whether it's you or so and so, I don't mind. It's like it makes me feel good to know, like, hey, if I never blow up, as long as I'm remembered that, hey, he was hella supportive and he was out there, he looked out for us, and he was always there when we needed him. That's all I need.
That's such a testament to your character. That's
all.
wonderful.
So.
And we thank you. Remember, we started this off by saying we've seen each other constantly through these events.
True.
So it's true, because I feel like you're always everywhere.
I try.
I see you, and that's wonderful that you have that understanding, and that you're humble enough and have that humility enough to be like, that's how I want to be remembered.
Yeah, that's all I want. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't need to be known as the greatest rapper. I know I'm not. But I was like, as long as people can say, he was respectable, he held his head up high, he treated everybody the same, and he was always there. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? Like, just, that I was there, I was supportive of everybody. That's all I want to be known as.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Big Roo, before we close out, I have one final question.
Yes.
What is the biggest lesson you have learned from life?
Appreciate the small things. So.
Why?
Because it's, we always are looking out for the big things. Oh, I want to, I can't wait to move out and go do these things. I can't wait to go such and such. I'm like, but it's like, enjoy the little things along the way. Like, I would have never known all these, these things growing up. Like if I would just always looking past, like if I never looked past my neighborhood, I would have never got to travel the world. I'm lucky enough to been able to been to Europe a couple times now and experience those things. And every time I go, I soak in every little thing because I'm like, man, hey, it's a big trip, but just building up to it, it's like, man, I'm doing all these little things to make it happen. It makes me feel good inside.
Yeah.
I appreciate every little thing, whether making my niece smile or my nephew smile or my other niece smile or coming out to the homies and we're having a laugh or getting to meet you guys. And
Yeah.
we're just, every little moment I cherish it.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Big Roo,
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for coming out. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Tune in.